to the BGF podcast number 2. I'm your host, Gianluca, alongside of
Brandon.
Today we're going to talk some more free agency, but unfortunately we lost our third. We'll let you know, we'll keep you updated if he does come back. How's your week, Brandon?
It's been pretty good, I'm working all 5 days. It's been alright. How about you?
How's fantasy been going, Brandon?
Fantasy hockey? I'd rather not talk about it. UC Saros and his 7 conceded goals.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But no, it's same here. Honestly, just chilled, did some homework, got ready for this episode because I'm excited to film number 2. Thank you so much for the love, guys. 70 views was amazing in the first one. Let's keep it going. If we can hit 10 likes in the second video, that'd be amazing. But yeah, why the hell is Odell still in the free agency market?
Asking for too much money.
How much do you think he's asking for?
He shut down the report that he wanted 20. I think it's probably in the 12 to 13 range, but that's still like decent money for a receiver.
Especially coming off that ACL injury. We don't know what he looks like, and plus he doesn't want to commit to any medicals, I believe I read. And he's hosting private workouts, which are good, but why don't you want to commit to medical exams done by the NFL just to be safe, make teams know that you're 100% ready? What's he hiding, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It feels a lot like Cam and Kaepernick when they were coming back, like with those private workouts. Nothing really ever comes out of them. They look very amateurish, and I don't know. Even if he does come back and whoever he signs with, I don't think he's going to be that real impactful of a player, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good in that Super Bowl with the Rams until he tore his ACL, but I mean, we don't know if it's the same guy. We don't know how he's going to look when he comes back, like you said. I thought there were some technical difficulties. We're relatively new to this. We're figuring out audio issues, and if you guys have any recommendations, please hit us up in the comment section down below because we need all the help we can get. But anyways, speaking of Odell, I was at the torn ACL issue. He tore his ACL, which sucks, unfortunately, end of 2021. Hasn't played a year. Took it off, and he's coming back. He wants to play this year. If he wants 12, 13 million, I don't know. I think I'd give him a chance, maybe on a 1-year deal, prove-it deal. If he wants more than that, then like what do you expect from teams? Like they can't commit 12, 13 mil to a what if, you know what I mean?
And wherever he's going to go, he's probably going to be a wide receiver 3, max 2. And you have to give him a 1-year deal because you can't commit that much term on 10 to 20 mil, whatever it's going to be, 10 to 20 million on that type of player.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, another guy that I was looking at earlier today, Bobby Wagner, your boy.
Definitely not.
Not your boy. What happened?
Played for 2 of my least favorite teams in the Rams and Chicago. He's had a really he was all pro last year. I don't know how he was all pro.
I don't know.
I don't think he was that good last year.
It was just the tackles, the numbers, they were there. He was elite in that aspect, but I don't pay attention to Bobby Wagner as much as you do. You've had him on your team. He's betrayed you. He's played on every team but. And yeah, if he's not good, he's not good. That's why he's still on free agency.
He definitely lost his speed. He's 33 now, and I don't think he reads the game as well as he used to. He's definitely not in the top 10 to 15 linebacker.
You know who I think would help the Niners a lot?
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yes, sir. This guy, honestly, his run stuffing ability is not elite, but it doesn't matter because this guy will get to the quarterback in any pass down situation. Plus, with your D-line, you don't need him to be a run stuffer. You can just send this guy at the quarterback all day, every day, and he will get through. He's had, I think, sacks. He's had over 8 sacks in his last 6-7 seasons in the NFL. That's amazing.
Imagine a line with Bosa, Ngakoue, Armstead, and newly signed Javon Hargrave.
Hey, how do you stop that? That's literally the reincarnation of the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles.
With Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw behind them, and then you got Deshaun Gibson, Charvarius Ward, DeAndre Lenore. He's all right, but not with those type of names, but still.
No, I think that defense would be elite. I mean, it already is elite. There's no denying it. But adding a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, who is not elite in himself, but can make that D-line just hit the next level because this guy attacking the quarterback freely, maybe one guy on him. It's amazing for you guys. You're going to have constant pressure with him and Bosa on the edge, and then Hargrave in the middle. Like, what? How's that even fair?
He's definitely like a very good last piece, and on a 1-year deal at 28, you can't really complain about that. We're talking as if he's already signed for us.
Yeah, I know.
I'd love for that to be the case, but
I've been getting you hyped up for I don't know what reason. Sorry about that. You know who I like on the Vikings for some reason? I don't know why, but Rocky Sin on the Vikings. I see this guy, a Viking in 2023, on a 1-year deal, prove-it deal. He looks like a Quasi guy, 27 years old. He's under 30, and just that upside. I mean, he's nothing crazy. He's just going to provide depth with a young corner room. We got Andrew Booth. We got Caleb Evans. New acquisition. My God, I was about to say Buda Baker once again. Byron Murphy. My God, I keep doing that. I don't know why, guys. I keep thinking we signed Buda Baker. I wish we did. I know we will. No, I'm just kidding. But Rocky Sin as a 4th corner, 5th corner maybe, behind those rookies, sort of help them develop, teach them what you know, I think would be an interesting signing.
He'd be what, the cornerback 3 on that team?
No,
4.
He'd be corner 4. I think he'd take like maybe not slot duties with Andrew Booth, maybe. Very big if. But honestly, I saw Calais Campbell in the free agency market, and I like this guy in the Vikings.
The Vikings are getting everybody.
Yeah, I want the Vikings to sign everyone. Send the house next year, $100 million in cap. Send it.
Calais Campbell is very old. I think. Do you think he's gonna sign with someone, or I think he might retire?
I think he might retire. It's unfortunate because he is good, and I still do think he can provide depth to that D line, especially in the run stuffing game. But he is 37. Who really wants to take a chance on a 37-year-old? There's the risk of injury, there's the risk of regression and whatnot. So I mean, it's unfortunate.
In his prime, he was one of the best at his position. So.
Best of all time in his position.
Yeah, exactly. He had a great career. It might be over because last year in Baltimore wasn't nothing special.
What about Frank Clark? You think he's going anywhere, or he's just going to stick it around in free agency till the end of time?
I'm not sure. Is he linked with anyone?
I didn't see his name mentioned much anywhere, but Frank Clark, I know he had a bit of a down season last year. Chris Jones really stepped up on that D-line, and they drafted George Karlaftis. Exactly, who's another D-line piece.
I like him.
George Karlaftis I like a lot. That Kansas City D-line is very underrated. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we think they're bad because they put up 50 points a game. But look at the stats. They're pretty good. I'm not kidding you guys. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. Also, another unfortunate signing, unsigning, is Irv Smith Jr. Out of the Vikings. This guy was... I don't know why, but I was high on this guy.
What'd you think about him the past years? Well, I know he had a lot. What was it, 2 years he was out injured, or only 1?
It was a year and a half.
2 years.
But, I mean, even before the injury, he was missing a lot of stuff. He wasn't elite at his position yet, and I don't think he ever will be. He has that pass catching inconsistency where some games he's on it, some games he's off. But I don't care because we got a stud. We got T.J. Hawkinson in there to replace him. So it doesn't even matter that Irv Smith doesn't sign with us. Obviously, I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he does continue going. I do want to see him play football again, but who would really go for a tight end after this draft class where tight ends are very good, and there's a couple of tight ends that are going in the first round. So
Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid, one of my personal favorites, Darnell Washington.
That kid's gonna be a stud. What about Dante Demas Jr. converting into the tight end?
We're doing this again.
Guys, it's an inside joke. We play Madden on the side. And the third actually loves Dante Demas. And we just always made fun of him because we tell him to convert into a tight end.
We were watching his highlights earlier. He's got some sneaky speed, man.
Some very underrated speeds.
His separation skills are questionable, but he actually has a bit of speed.
But no, Brian, why are no running backs being signed out of free agency?
Kareem Hunt, Zeke.
Like they're getting cut than they're getting signed.
It's just a position that it's really people get them in the draft, and that's how it's served now. They don't get paid.
Yeah, they don't get paid. They serve their 4 years on their rookie deal, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is now. And I mean, they do have the lowest lifespan out of all positions in the NFL, which sucks because they are very valuable. I mean, look at the past 3 Super Bowl winners. Their run game in the Super Bowl was just elite. Yeah. So carried them. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year.
They were elite, but the player themselves was not elite. Getting paid a lot. They're all on small
rookie
contract
deals, prove-it deals.
Pacheco, Akers.
The only one who actually did get paid was Uncle Lenny. back with Tampa.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
But he wasn't crazy
paid,
money.
He wasn't paid with them though.
No,
He wasn't paid at all. No, he didn't get paid with.
Was he still on his rookie deal when he was in Tampa?
No, he was on his rookie deal with Jacksonville. Jacksonville cut him, and then he signed like a nothing crazy deal.
Okay, it wasn't crazy. Okay, I
So I don't even know who's the last team to actually win a Super Bowl with expensive running back.
With an expensive running back, oof. I'm not even sure.
Because even in those Pats teams, definitely never had.
No, those Pats
teams.
those Pats team was
Blount,
TB12, baby. Tarandy Moss. No, I'm just kidding. That was like 2-3 years. But yeah. So speaking of running backs, Austin Eckler.
Where's he going?
Where's he going?
I think
what's happening with him?
I think he's gonna stay in LA. Anything with running backs asking for a lot of money this day, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think he'll just stay in LA.
Yeah,
I don't know why you wouldn't want to stay in LA. It looks like a great place to live.
It's a great place to live. You got the sun, you got the heat, the beaches, everything. Everyone's there. Everyone wants you, and
the only downfall is the traffic.
Yeah, the traffic sucks in LA, but it's okay. I mean, I feel like Eckler can get around.
Mm-hmm.
Just shine his bald head.
Lamar Jackson.
What about him?
Where is he going? Your Minnesota Vikings as well.
Honestly, the thing with Lamar is I do believe he's an elite quarterback, but I don't think he would fit well in the Vikings for several reasons. One, we have to pay Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, and T.J. Hawkinson in this next year alone. And then after that, we got to pay the rookies we drafted 2 years ago. There's just a lot of money invested in Lamar Jackson, and we've just finished paying off Kirk Cousins $50 million for the past, I don't know how many, 5 seasons, some number like that, and it's a lot of money. I would be more comfortable getting Lamar Jackson after next season if we can.
How?
I don't know.
Okay, if he plays on the tag, and then
if he plays on the tag and we somehow get him in free agency, I'd be okay with that. But then that's my next point. Vikings, I feel like, are gonna draft a quarterback this year. It just makes sense.
I don't see it.
Why? Kirk Cousins is on his last year. There's been no discussion about contract extensions.
I don't think he's going to stay, but how are they going to move into the conversation? Unless they're getting a Hendon Hooker.
What's wrong with Hendon Hooker?
Where do you think he's going to go? Because what pick did he have?
23, I believe. 23, I believe.
Does he make... Yeah, he'll definitely make it to 23.
I think Hendon Hooker's a late... he might even get drafted in the second, third round.
Yeah, but I don't see... They definitely need to get one of those receivers, like Quentin Johnson or Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I do think the receiver is a need unless they feel very confident in KJ Osborne this offseason. He did save a human life this offseason, so maybe, he's... He
can save his NFL life.
Can save his NFL life. As a wide receiver, too. Oh, no, poor KJ.
I don't see KJ as a wide receiver, too.
Unless maybe the team believes in Jalen Naylor.
I think you're about to say Jalen Reagor.
Oh my God, not Reagor. No. Reagor's a bust. Reagor stops running mid routes, doesn't look at the ball, just no. He's a bust. I can't believe people were comparing this man to Justin Jefferson after one season. After their rookie season, they were still being compared.
How did he do his rookie year?
Shit, I don't even think he eclipsed 1,000 yards.
So how are they compared? Yeah. How much did Jefferson?
1,004. JJ has been consistently getting 200 extra yards every season. First season 1,004, second season 1,006, third season 1,008.
So you know what next year is?
2K, baby.
JJ 2K.
JJ 2K. I can see it. I can see the chance happening.
You think you could see the BA 1.5K next year? No.
Yeah. No, I honestly I think IU can eclipse 1.5. It depends.
It's just too many mouths to feed, I think.
Yeah, that was.
Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey is gonna get his in the passing game, and he's gonna get his in the run game. So there's not as many opportunities.
And then if they do run Trey Lance, early on last season, Kyle Shanahan used to use that RPO and that read option thing with the quarterback where he would run out the pocket a lot.
Yeah, but one thing is him and Lance and Ayuk have good chemistry. You see it in the offseason, they hang around a lot, and even in the preseason games and the few games that he played, Ayuk got a lot of targets. So I think
maybe
it bodes well for him. But just even with Lance, though, it's not as many passing opportunities like you said with the RPO stuff. So
yeah. But I mean, I wish the best for Lance. I hope he does recover. He's never really been given a fair shot.
There's always something, man. It's either it's Jimmy G, or it's the injuries, or always something.
You guys must be in one of the most cursed organizations in football.
for quarterbacks.
For just teams in general. Your
No,
team, I
even
feel like your team
always
dies.
Like the first time against the Chiefs when Jimmy got injured, that year the whole team went. That's why that winning stuff with Jimmy G is like a farce, because every time when he gets injured, the whole team goes down, and it's just our practice squad out there.
So you don't think Jimmy G's gonna win the Raiders?
Hell no. I think he's still. We said it last episode. I think he's still an upgrade on Carr, but it's Jimmy G. What do you expect?
Maybe like an extra game or two, he'll win. Is he gonna win you a Super Bowl? No, because he can't make throws in the Super Bowl.
Well, you say 1 or 2 more wins for the Raiders. That's good. That maybe gets them in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. Well, I mean, we'll see. Only time can tell. But I do think the Raiders need to fix a quarterback long term. I don't think Jimmy G is the long term guy.
Think they get it in the draft, or will we find out soon?
We'll find out soon. Actually, speaking of the draft,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it. So what we decided to do today is just go over the top 10 teams we have drafting 1 through 10, and seeing their needs and what they're gonna go for in the draft. You want to start us off with
Yeah, I'll
Carolina?
start us off. So at number 1 we have Carolina. Their team, they really need a quarterback, probably a number 1 receiver. I don't know how they'd address that. Well, because right now it's Thielen, Chark, and Terrence. I don't even know.
What's wrong with Thielen?
No, you what do you mean? You know he's not a wide receiver one.
Not anymore. He used to be. I mean, look, this guy was what, a 4-time Pro Bowler?
Yeah, no, I'm not questioning how good he was in his prime, but right now as a wide receiver one, you're not, especially in a wide open
Thielen
NFC
hurt, guys. When he left, that hurt.
and a open NFC South, like you try and get your best. Like if they get a legit wide receiver 1, Thielen as a 2, DJ Chark as a 3, like I think.
What about Odell?
Nah, not as a number 1. I don't think so.
1 year, prove it with CJ.
It's better than what they have now. So I guess.
What do they got? They got LaVisca and Terrence Marshall right now, alongside of Thielen.
LaVisca, yeah, Terrence Marshall. Yeah, Terrence Marshall's still on the roster. Hayden Hurst.
Oh, forgot about Hayden.
Yeah, I forgot Hayden. He's probably gonna get a lot of targets.
But don't they have Tremble as well?
Yep, Ian Thomas.
Tommy Tremble.
Yeah. But anyway, so they need that, and probably maybe some right guard health since Austin Corbett's gonna miss the beginning of the season with an ACL tear. As for their defense, though, it's really good. I don't think they have much to improve on defense. Anyway, let me get to it. We all know they're taking a quarterback. I know you don't trade up to number 1 to take someone other than a quarterback.
And you don't trade out of number 1 after trading for number 1. So we're gonna shut that down right away.
Anyway, I think it's gonna be CJ Stroud. It just, from the reports we're seeing, it just feels like it's gonna happen. At his pro day at Ohio State, all we saw was talk about him going to Carolina. So I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. In my opinion, who do you think should be number 1? Like, not who you think is gonna be number 1, but if you were making the selection, who do you think?
If I was making the selection, honest to God, number 1 I think it should be a quarterback. Stroud, Bryce, and Richardson is rumored top 3. If I was the team drafting and I desperately needed a quarterback, my fix right now would be CJ Stroud. If I was the team that had a good team around me, decent weapons on offense, I'd take a chance on a guy like Bryce Young.
For me, I think they should take Bryce Young. I just think he's the better quarterback. I think really what's pushed Stroud to number 1 is the height thing on Bryce Young. Because if Bryce Young was the same... Okay, it's easy to say that if he was the same height as him. Obviously, if he was the same height as him, he'd be going number 1. But I think people make too much of the height thing. Plus, with Stroud, we've seen quarterbacks that come from loaded NFL college offenses, and they don't really perform in the NFL. So I'm kind of scared on that. If it's really the JSNs, the Garrett Wilsons, the Olaves, the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s that really.
What about Joe Burrow? Came out of that LSU legendary roster.
Okay, you got me there. But I don't know. I think I trust Bryce. Plus, Bryce Young has been the consensus guy all along until recently. So
I think the main difference between Bryce and CJ is I consider CJ the more accurate passer, but Bryce is not inaccurate.
Yeah, Bryce Young has throws that he can make that CJ Stroud can't make. Like, he is like.
I get what you're saying. That versatility option. Yeah, whereas CJ is more of a stone in the pocket. But he can still move, not as much as Bryce Young. But I still do think Bryce Young is not a dual threat quarterback. I still think he's primarily a pocket passer, but he's got the same versatility as a guy like Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I think
I see a lot of comparisons to Kyler Murray, and I do understand
they're
it.
not.
But I don't think so, because Kyler I believe, is shorter than him.
I think they're the same height. Like,
Then-
I think they're the exact same measurables.
Oh, they're the same measurables. Okay, I wasn't sure about that one. But either way, Kyler is more of the one read, I don't have it, I'm taking off. Whereas Bryce can actually read the progressions, go through his things. Obviously, this is at a college level. We don't know how it's going to be in the NFL. But I do think under certain coaching, this guy will do very well.
Yeah. Anyway, I think between these three guys, you're really just like, they're so neck and neck. You can convince me into taking any of these guys. They're all three of them are going to be studs in the NFL.
When I saw the Carolina trading for that number 1 pick, I had a feeling they were going Richardson. I don't know why, but something in my gut was telling me Anthony Richardson at number 1.
But they wouldn't have traded up, though.
That's the thing. Then I started like researching this and being like, okay, why did they trade number 1? Richardson is good, and I know they liked him back in 9 when they were in 9.
Yeah.
But they had teams like, my God, Seattle, Vegas ahead of them, as well as Indianapolis, who might take a chance on Anthony Richardson. We never know. They also had Arizona, the Cardinals, who knows what they're gonna do. They might even take a chance at quarterback.
I don't think so.
No, you think they run it back with Kyler? I think they have to. They have no choice.
I don't even know who's their backup right now, but whoever it is, he's gonna have a tough job on his hands.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we do have a pretty similar 1-2.
Yeah, number 2 for me is
Texans going forward.
Bryce Young. I can
Yeah,
just see him
that's
in the jersey as well. I don't know. There's something about it with these guys.
Same with DeMarco Ryan.
If you guys saw the first episode, you know what we're talking about there. But yeah, for Houston though, they need definitely a quarterback. They need help on the offensive line. They were the worst team last year by like. I know they didn't get the first pick, but
No, but on paper,
on the eye, you know they were the worst team.
1000%. On paper, they need help everywhere. They don't have a D line. They have half of a secondary. I can't even say they don't have a. They have Petrie, they have Stingley Jr.
Even Stingley wasn't too great last year.
Yeah, but you know what? He's young. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it turns out into something okay.
In my needs, I actually have that they need a breakout sophomore year from him. So hopefully he provides that for them. Because plus he's gonna be with D'Amico Ryan, so that definitely is
gonna be intense.
Exactly, that's gonna give him a boost. Definitely.
D'Amico's gonna be right in his face all day, every day.
And even hopefully John Mechie comes back
Healthy.
for his rookie. It's gonna be technically his rookie year from cancer. So we're praying for him. I'm
Pretty sure John Mechie.
I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. Is he?
Let's just do a quick fact check, but I'm not sure. John Mechie the third, right?
Yeah.
Not too sure, but the Houston Texans, other than their running back and maybe
Laramie Tunzel,
they need a lot of help. So I have them taking whoever Carolina doesn't take. So for example, if Carolina were to take CJ, I have them taking Bryce, and then vice versa. John Mechie is a Canadian gridiron football wide receiver for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I feel like I did that same one.
Look at that. Brandon knows the facts. But what do you have going on at number 3? Because here I have some movement.
You think there's a trade?
I think there's a trade.
And I didn't do it with trades because I didn't want to like. There's gonna probably be a trade, but I don't know.
We'll have a more in-depth mock draft later on, closer to the draft.
Yeah, this is
where we do incorporate trades.
This is just our 1.0 draft.
It's our 1.0 before the real mock.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
And actually, I know we're moving on to Arizona, but did you see Laramie Tunzel was on Pat McAfee's show?
Of course, I watched the episode.
Yeah, you watched it. He was
Of
talking
course.
about what's the agent? Not agent, but the guy's name is Saint Oni. What's the guy's name?
I can't remember his name. It's
But
something like
the
that.
big the big mystery man, an NFL agent.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Laramie Tunzel is honestly a great guy. Laramie, if you want to come on our podcast, we'd be more than happy to welcome you along. If anyone wants to come on our podcast, right? To be
Let
more
us know,
specific,
DM
let us know. DM us. We got a Twitter up, and we also got a TikTok up. BGF podcast.
Yeah,
If you guys didn't know.
We posted a few things on the TikTok. They did alright. Hopefully, you guys can go follow it.
Yeah, but I'll give you a quick breakdown of what I have going on here. So I have Arizona trading down one spot to the Indianapolis Colts. And I have those big bad Colts trading their 1, their 2, their 3, and their 4.
This is all, if they're gonna go one spot up, Arizona's not really a threat to take a quarterback. That's why I don't think they trade up. I think they'll just. If they were gonna trade up, it's gonna be to 1 or 2. Because at that point, those are the guys.
I understand where you're coming from, but I just feel like Arizona can like put it in their face, like, oh yeah, I'm taking Will Levis, or I'm taking Richardson, or And then the Colts are
It
going to
could
just be
happen.
like trigger happy and be like, no, we want him.
Could be if they want. But what did you say they're gonna give up?
A 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4.
What, extra one? Not, without the
No,
104?
the one. Like they
Okay,
have.
the 4.
So the
fourth
104,
Okay.
and then the second round, and then 3 and 4 next year.
Yeah, you'd imagine it's actually not bad just to secure your guy, but I think it's gonna stay the same anyway. Who do you have as the pick then?
And then I have them taking Will Levis
For Indy?
for Indy at 3 instead of Anthony Richardson. I have Richardson falling a little bit, not too far, but I do think Will Levis, for some reason, teams love him. I don't know what he provides. He's like a pocket, like pure pocket passer. This guy reminds me of Kirk Cousins.
I don't know about that. Did you see his pro day?
Yeah, he looked good. He
Kentucky's-
looked good.
The dots he was throwing.
No, he had some dots on him.
That's why I also have the Colts taking him. But for me, it's at 4. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we have the same. I have Arizona taking Will Anderson at 3, but you have it at 4.
Yeah, and then at 4, I was going to go on to Arizona taking Will Anderson, who is arguably the best defender in this draft class.
Yeah.
And I don't see why they would skip out on him. They just lost J.J. Watt. They lost a lot of pieces on that D-line. They need help. He's an edge rusher. They need help on that defense, period. They lost Byron Murphy to the Vikings. They need help on that
They
secondary.
lost JJ.
They lost J.J. They lost a lot of pieces, but I do think Will Anderson, my apologies, Will Anderson will be a little start to help bolstering that D-line and making them elite once again.
Because even with Byron Murphy and JJ Watt, that defense wasn't great. So
No, it wasn't great. They needed a complete rebuild.
yeah, Will Anderson should be a good start to that.
He's a stud. I like this kid a lot. I think he's going to be great for them.
What about Will Levis?
Will Levis. I mean, look, I wish nothing but the best for the Colts. These guys have not had a good quarterback for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And they've always had that argument where they're a good team, but they're just missing that one piece. I hope Will Levis is that one piece. I genuinely do. I want these guys to be successful for once.
If I were them, I'd be taking Richardson, but I also think they're going to take Levis. There's just something with the Colts. I don't want to, like... I can't pick... I feel like they always have a white quarterback. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's true. Like, Luck,
Ryan,
Rivers, Ryan,
The only one I can remember in recent time is...
Carson Wentz.
Jacoby Brissett's the only one. And did he
and that was like...
Did he even start for them? I
don't know if he started.
I think he
might
came
have,
in for...
He might have played a few games because he came in off the bench or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was because Luck retired, and because I was right at the beginning of the season, and then they were stuck and had to start for so.
But yeah, the only reason I have Levis over Richardson is because I feel like teams think Will Levis is more ready than Richardson. Teams have that thought where Richardson needs to sit a year behind a starter, learn the NFL, learn the game plan, this and that, and I feel like teams think Will Levis can just step in there.
Yeah, but I think Levis is like really inconsistent as well.
I agree. I would like for him. I think ideally both quarterbacks should sit, but I do think the Colts are going quarterback because that is their biggest need in this draft.
They don't even have one right now. Is it Gardner Minshew? They signed him.
Gardner Minshew, baby, he's coming in, Indy.
So yeah, I also had Levis. Anyway, now on to number 5. This is where it should get interesting, and I think we're gonna have different stuff. At number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. What do you have as like their need? What do you think they need?
Seattle Seahawks. The one thing about the Seahawks is they're young. Positions of
Very
need. They got a young receiver who's elite. They got a young running back who's elite. They got the young pieces on the O-line that are elite. They got a young secondary, which is elite. They got decent pieces on the D-line. My biggest need for the Seattle is an edge rusher D lineman. But here, I have them taking Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, we have something different.
At the 105, I have Anthony Richardson off the board to Seattle. And here's why. You got a guy named of Geno Smith. Beginning of the year, we all thought this was a joke. Who's Geno? What's this guy going to do? But he is an absolute dog. I don't care what anyone says. This guy has produced some incredible numbers in one season that he's been given a chance ahead of Russell Wilson. He made the most of his abilities, brought in Seattle Seahawks to his playoff spot when we were all thinking this guy would be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Their management has also done an incredible job of drafting rookies because rookies were playing almost 80% of their snaps this year. I know it was some crazy number. It didn't make sense. And
between them and the Jets, they definitely had probably the best draft class.
Yeah.
And they did it late on. They got them, like Tariq Woolen was a 4 or 5 round?
5th rounder, I believe, or something. It was late, and he's one of the best young corners in the league right now. which is crazy. And then you got a guy like Kenneth Walker, best running backs in the league, period, last year, drafted in like 104, 103, around then. I want to say, I'm not too sure.
I think it was the third round. He was definitely the second running back.
I know he was second
I
day
think it
guy.
was second round. No, it was second round because Brees was the 202 the Jets traded up, and then Kenneth Walker was the second one off the board, and he went pretty soon after that.
Okay, so a second rounder, but still, good job to the Seahawks and that organization. So this is why I think Anthony Richardson will be a perfect fit, because he gets to sit behind Geno Smith, who I still think has a few years in him. I don't think he's going to slow down anytime soon, especially after last season. He's come out and said he feels great in postseason. I hope he does good.
Not surprised that it's the best he's felt in his career. This is the best he's played, so
He's the most he's getting paid too. I mean,
yeah, that'll definitely. But even as a Niners fan, this is the only team I really think can challenge us for the division. I don't think they will. Well, I don't think they will. I don't think they're gonna bring us all the way. I think for the first 6-7 weeks, I think they'll be there neck and neck with us. I think we'll blow them away with just the talent we have on the roster. But this is a really good team.
This is a very.
I wouldn't say
young,
worried,
up-and-coming
but
team.
they're very good. Like, especially for the future, I'm definitely worried for. For me, I have them taking Tyree Wilson, the edge out of Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I think he's a freak athlete. Great power. He affects the run and the pass. He's super length. He's 35-inch arms, which I saw an interview with him and Chris Sims saying that is wild for an edge rusher.
Well, that's huge. That's like,
that's
God damn. That's like, how big is that? You know what I mean?
That is very... And he compares himself to J.J. Watt and Von Miller. So if he becomes any type of player like that, then Seattle's going to be very happy.
Seattle's going to be very happy. Pair that alongside a great secondary with Tyreek Woolen.
Because already they need help on their defensive line. So they get a guy like Tyree Wilson. Plus they already have the good secondary, good offense. I think that'll make them a very good team.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see them going edge rushers. I just wanted to spice it up and have Richardson go here, because I genuinely do think if he goes to a team in the top 5, this is the best spot for him.
And even for me, I still haven't said where Richardson's going, but if he doesn't go to Seattle, you're gonna have to wait a while for him to get picked, because none of these teams really look like they're gonna go quarterback.
Yeah, because then you got Detroit, you got the Raiders, the Falcons, the Bears, and the Eagles.
Not many of those teams really. Some need a quarterback, but they don't.
Maybe behind Jared Goff in Detroit.
But they said that he will be the starter. But Richardson doesn't have to start, so maybe. But I don't see Detroit doing that.
No, Dan Campbell's gonna break his kneecaps before then.
Well, anyway, now we're on to 6 in Detroit. Who do you got here? I'd imagine we have the same guy, but
I think we do. Is he a D lineman?
Yep, Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, baby. Yeah, I know he didn't look too great in his pro day, his physicals, but this guy is still a freak athlete. Yes, he put on weight. Yes, he has legal claims, but teams did come out and specifically say he was not falling far. And I think Detroit, Dan Campbell, they're gonna set him straight, and this guy will be a stud. Just imagine the D line with Aiden Hutchinson. And my God, I'm blanking right here. Jalen Carter. Sorry, it's in my notes, guys. I promise. But Aiden Hutchinson, Jalen Carter will be elite.
That would be problems for opposing teams.
I'm honestly scared as a Vikings fan. We got to come up against this D line twice a year.
And plus, they made a lot
of big.
The secondary is much improved. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton. Well, they already had Jeff Okuda. Hopefully, he can start.
He can bounce and become an elite corner that they hoped when they drafted him. But yeah, no, they're scary, man. They're a really scary team this year. I think out of all the teams that didn't make the playoffs, they're the most likely to make the playoffs this season.
They were right there, so Green Bay is definitely not. Well, actually, Green Bay didn't end up making it. But who's the team that made it right over?
Vikings.
No, the Vikings were in though.
Seahawks.
Oh yeah, it was.
They had the same record. It's just I think it was division wins or conference or whatever the tiebreaker was.
Both of them were getting smacked by the 49ers, so it didn't
I agree. But I feel like the Lions would have put up a fight. Because Dan Campbell would have broken some kneecaps out there.
Seattle put up a fight until halftime.
Yeah, until halftime, and then the halftime shenanigans.
Everyone thought, oh, Seattle, what do they have here? They might upset. They didn't. Anyway, I have Jalen Carter. If there wasn't for this legal stuff, I think Arizona might have taken him 3rd, or even Chicago might have not traded down and taken him at 1.
Yeah,
he was jumping up throughout the season at Georgia. his numbers weren't great, but just off his attributes that he has, you could tell he will be a great player in the NFL. So no, anyway,
I hope he's able to put everything behind him, and I know this kid's gonna be a stud.
Yep. On to number 7, the Raiders. What do you think they need? I think they really need defensive help.
They need help defensively. Honestly, on offense, they got an elite running back. They got an elite receiver. They traded their elite tight end, but it doesn't matter. They got an elite winning quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. But what held them back last season was their defense, especially their secondary. They got torched, man. It was not fun. Imagine being honestly, arguably, they were as bad as the Vikings.
On defense.
Defense.
Besides, Max Crosby is the only thing on that defense that's salvageable. Everything else can go.
Everything else can go, and I have them taking, in my opinion, the best corner available, Christian Gonzalez.
I also have that. He's he's long.
Big, he's long, he's fast. That came out wrong.
Yeah. He's got great coverage skills. Plays with a lot of confidence. He's one of, especially for DBs and corners, they need to be cocky, and he's definitely that. Out of Oregon, I think that'll be the start of a new defensive identity for the Raiders.
And their secondary, which needs a lot of help.
I like Nate Hobbs. And they signed, see what they signed 2 days ago?
Who they signed?
Duke Shelley.
Oh, Shelly Island. Shelly's a very underrated corner, guys. I'm not even kidding you. Watch the tape on this guy. Look at the numbers. Put him in the slot. He is an absolute animal. I love Duke Shelley. Honestly, he's one of, I know we cut a lot of players this year, but he's just one of the players I was kind of hoping they brought back.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me a few days ago about it, and then this morning I was just doing my preparations on the Raiders, and I saw it. I'm like, how did I not see this? I never got.
Shelley, yeah.
How did I not hear it from you? That's really what I wanted.
Well, I was mourning for like 2 days. Duke Shelley was gone, and he was even teasing us about it. He was mentioning it on Twitter. He was adding the Vikings and talking about it because he wanted to come back and play, but just Kwesi didn't make it work out. And
so now, if they get Gonzalez, do you think Duke Shelley could start? Well,
Duke Shelley is going to start for them.
Over Nate Hobbs.
Over Nate Hobbs. Okay, maybe not over Nate Hobbs, but like he'll be a third. Like he'll be consistently in the lineup.
Yeah. So anyway, if they get that in their secondary, they have Crosby. Well, they have Chandler Jones still.
Yeah, but I mean Chandler Jones.
That
didn't look too great. They just got Max Crosby.
The only thing I remember about Chandler Jones this year was that Jacoby Myers absolute fuck up.
Oh, that was hilarious when he just passed it backwards and psych, he's put Mac Jones on his ass.
And now, oddly enough, he plays for the Raiders. So maybe that was his plan all along.
Hey, why not? Come, let me set up my little alley-oop, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now, at number 8, the Atlanta Falcons.
What are their needs?
Quarterback, definitely, but will they take one? Who's going to start for them? Is it going to be Heineke, Ritter? Are they going to draft one here? I don't know, but they definitely need help there.
Yeah, I agree. I think, is Mariota still on the roster? I'm not too sure. I think, he got cut. But, I mean, Desmond Ritter season.
I like Desmond Ritter. He's all right. He's nothing crazy, but I think he's definitely better than Heineke. Heineke's just, he has this narrative around him that he's like some winner, but...
Heineke's a winner. I like Heineke.
He's a winner compared to who? Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz, baby. It doesn't matter. Taylor Heineke stole the job from him.
Alex Smith. Like, those are the type of guys that he was winning over.
The Commanders organization is just in shambles. Like, how do they still own a football team?
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
He's going to start for them because, by the looks of things now in my draft at least, Anthony Richardson's going to the Falcons. So
you have Richardson at 8. Okay, that's interesting.
He feels like a Falcons-type quarterback.
Playing with Kyle Pitts and Tyler Algier.
That's what I was going to say. Tyler Algier, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, with Anthony Richardson. I think that's a really nice young core with A.J. Terrell on defense. Who else they got on defense? Am I missing anyone?
Yeah, they just signed, what's his name? Jesse Bates.
Thanks for the...
No problem. That's why we're here. Jesse Bates coming on that defense.
So
they also got Devin Wooders. My bad. This is why I think they're gonna draft as a cornerback, Devin Witherspoon.
I like him.
I like him a lot. Coming out of Illinois, I think he's gonna be an amazing pairing. 1-2 with AJ. It's gonna be young. It's gonna be there for a long time. Like you had said earlier, they got pieces on offense, but I think next year's where they strike and take a quarterback. I feel like they drafted Desmond Ritter 2 years ago for a reason. They want to see what they have in him. They don't see what they have. They see what they have in him this year. Next year, they don't like it, they go for a quarterback.
Yeah, honestly, I just put Richardson there because I can't see him signing below 10. And I think this
I
is
agree.
a spot where it's a possibility they take him. Sorry.
No.
And as for AJ Terrell, apparently from what I'm seeing from Falcons fans, apparently didn't have that great of a year last year. I wasn't too in tune with Atlanta last year.
I wasn't watching too many Falcon games either.
Because why? What was the reason? Besides the disappointment on my screen when I saw
Besides
Kyle
Artie
Pitts'
Smith.
fantasy numbers.
Artie Smith not utilizing his
Yeah.
tight ends. Come on, Artie.
That was the only thing I would tune in for those games for, to absolutely rage at Arthur Smith for not giving the ball to Kyle Pitts.
But I mean, there's a reason why they're drafting 8th. Their secondary, their defense in general wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
They maybe made key acquisition in Jesse Bates, depending on how he plays this year. That's why I have them taking cornerback to help tighten up that defense.
Yeah, I think we covered what we had to cover on Atlanta. Now for the team that traded
The
down,
number 1 overall pick.
yeah, down to 9, the Chicago Bears. What do you got them taking?
So the Chicago Bears, their biggest need, in my opinion, is to protect Justin Fields on that O-line. They have literally no one protecting him. Guy was running for his life. I think he was one of the quarterbacks who had pressure in his face the fastest in the NFL.
Yeah, from watching those games, you could tell.
Obviously, he needs a wide receiver 1, but I think they secured that with DJ Moore. DJ Moore is young. He's fast. He's a not dual threat. My God, he's versatile. He's fast. He's tall. He can catch over people. I think that's their wide receiver 1. I think they got.
Talking about Chicago,
Yeah.
wide receivers. Well, they already got Mooney.
They got Mooney. It's true.
Did they sign someone?
Chase Claypool's
Chase
the one they
Claypool.
got. Yeah. Forgot about Chase, but Chase is not gonna cut it as a 1.
Yeah.
DJ Moore
He's
is a
not gonna
very
cut it
good
as a
1. I think they got 2 3s with Mooney and Claypool. Claypool less than.
You think Mooney's a 3?
I think
he's a
Mooney's 3.
perfect 2.
I can see
Like he's
him.
coming off.
I can
He
see
is
him.
coming off a big injury as well.
I can see him fitting into a 2, but he's not a 1 in my opinion.
I got him on my dynasty team, so you better be selling him up
Okay,
as a 2.
Darnold Mooney better start playing some football. But yeah, no, the biggest need for me is they need to protect Justin Fields at all costs, and I have them taking Paris Johnson out of Ohio State or Peter Skoronski, depending on who they like. But if I were drafting doing a mock to this right now, I would go Paris Johnson at 9.
I agree. I also have them taking Paris Johnson at 9. And actually, going back to the Falcons there, and speaking of offensive lines, their offensive line is actually surprisingly pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Yeah, with Lindstrom, we just signed a big deal.
Signed a massive. I think he's the highest paid right guard in NFL.
I think he's center.
Center. Oh no, wait. Who's the right guard that got paid then?
Shaq, no.
I'm mixing up names. But anyways, I know O-lineman got paid this offseason.
Yeah, like
a
Larry
lot of
Wilkins.
and oh my God, we just forgot the biggest signing I've ever seen in my life. O-lineman 2 years ago with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Lane Johnson, yeah.
What was that?
1 year deal.
1 year deal, $34 million for what? You pay quarterbacks that money. You don't pay O-linemen
Yeah,
that
but
money.
it's 1 year. That's the thing. 1 year, he probably was thinking about retirement. To get him to come back, they had to up the money.
They sold the bank.
I don't know, I think if they have the money to do it, why not?
No, I do think it's a good deal, but I mean, that's a lot of money, man. I was not expecting. I woke up that morning and I saw that. I was like, what
Yeah,
the hell?
you texted me about it. I'd seen it, but I didn't see the money. I was surprised on the money because I thought it was multiple years, and then I read it 1 year. I'm like, okay, it actually does make a bit of sense. Anyway, speaking of Philly and offensive linemen, who do you think's at 10?
Well, I mean, their offensive line is getting older. I do have Philadelphia Eagles taking offensive linemen. I basically see the Eagles and Bears swapping linemen. So whoever the Bears take, Philly takes the other guy between Johnson and Skoronski. So I have Bears taking Johnson. I have Eagles taking Skoronski. I think Skoronski is going to fit in amazingly on this O-line. Already it's elite. He'll just learn behind the veterans and hopefully improve and upgrade. I think this is going to be a perfect pick for the Eagles, seeing as they already have a young core behind him. With Justin Hurts. My God.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I'm getting tired, guys. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts, they got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and that's going to be a nice 1, 2, 3, 4.
What were the Saints doing, man?
I honestly...
How did we even get this pick? Oh, it was from the
What was
Olave.
trade? It was
because-
the Olave trade,
yeah.
yeah. 2 years ago, was it? No, yeah.
No, last
year, yeah.
Last year. What the heck? How this offensive line they already have, and they're gonna add to it, all because of the New Orleans Saints.
But if you think about it, next year I think is where contracts come up for the Eagles. So next year,
Well, already this year we saw them losing a couple key pieces.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the sport we live in. There is a salary cap.
Yeah. Which is
It is in play. It's good.
like-
It makes it kind of fair, but the Vikings can't fucking utilize it. Save their lives. Doesn't matter. But
'Cause
yeah,
who-
next.
Is Devonta Smith? No, Devonta Smith has few.
I think it's this year.
No, it's not.
It's the Justin Jefferson class.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he was with Chase and.
Was he with Chase?
Yeah, he's a second year. This year was a second.
Or was Hurts with the Justin Jefferson class? I know
yeah,
one of them was
Yeah, it was definitely Hurts. Because Hurts was a second rounder.
Jalen Hurts
Draft class.
draft class.
Yeah, he was second round.
2020, yeah, second round of the 2020 draft, same year as Jefferson. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to pay Jalen Hurts this year if they want him back on the roster, which I'm assuming they do.
50 million. If Aaron Rodgers getting 60, Jalen's getting at least 50.
Aaron Rodgers is securing $60 million to be in limbo.
All those quarterbacks up for contracts, Herbert, Burrow, those guys are gonna get.
I feel like
How
as soon
high
as
could
one,
how high could this number go?
this is what I feel like is gonna happen. So they're all coming up for a contract extension this year. I feel like as soon as one guy signs, the next guy's signing for a bit more than him,
Yeah.
and then the next guy's signing for a bit more than him, and then saying, and it's just gonna keep going, endless loop of whatever. But I don't know. I hope everyone gets paid, but it's a lot of money. I don't know how the hell people are gonna be able to afford this quarterback money in the future.
Yeah, because if we're already at 6, but Rodgers, it was only 3 years, so that's why you could see why it was that high. But the guys are gonna sign 5 years, 5-6 year deals,
I mean, remember when Mahomes signed that
7-8 years.
10 years, $450 million?
Yeah,
It's like half a bill, and I was like,
that looks like a steal.
It's a steal. He's like the 5th highest paid quarterback, I believe, now.
I saw it moves so fast that I remember when the Niners signed Jimmy G, he was the highest paid quarterback in the league. He's not even, I checked the top 10 list or even top 15 list, and he wasn't even on there.
I remember when Kirk Cousins signed his
Yeah,
contract
that was a
extension,
big
he was
thing.
like high by a long shot, and it took a few years for teams to catch him, but now
He's not even.
he's not even there. He's not even
he's
top
not
15.
10.
I don't think he's top 15. Because on the salary, actually, no, maybe this year he might be because he's getting like 35 mil.
You think about it, we were talking about it earlier. Oh, Odell, 15 million, a bit too much. And we're talking about quarterbacks, and we're talking
It's
about
not.
50 to 60.
I mean, look, Adam Thielen cleared 11, I believe.
with Carolina,
I think it was like 11 million or
There's-
something. Yeah, no, Adam Thielen got paid.
and it's a 3-year deal too, and he's already up there.
No, that's what I'm saying. Odell's like 3 years younger. I think he's 3 years younger.
So way out.
3 year, 25
8.3.
million, 8.3 signing bonus. So he signed an average
8.3 and
8.3 a year.
okay, that's alright, but damn, I didn't think he got that much. Yeah, so maybe he will be the number one there.
That's
I don't see what their other option is, but I think they still need someone better.
I think they go for a receiver second round, 9th at the 209.
What type of guys are on the board there? Jalen Hyatt, Josh Downs, Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, I think they're gonna go.
I like
for.
Zay Flowers.
I like Zay Flowers a lot. I think he's gonna be good.
Yeah, him and Josh Downs are my two guys.
I don't know why for this draft class with receivers, I feel like it's the perfect wide receiver 2 draft class.
Yeah. The only one I think with the wide receiver one upside is JSN.
Yeah, I agree, and he's mocked at like top
11,
first
12.
round. Yeah, like literally right after.
To the Texans.
Yeah, imagine that Texans would have John Mechie if he's healthy, JSN, and
I was about to say
Bryce
Brandon
Young.
Cooks, but not Brandon Cooks.
Bryce Young.
And Robert Woods. Don't forget about Robert
Oh
Woods.
my God, the veteran! I can't forget the veteran route runner. What am I doing?
Yes, yeah, we said 10. So yeah, that's what we got for our draft stuff. Anything you want to add on?
That's it. That's all we got today, guys. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Button down below. And until next time, see you guys later.
See ya.